So a new study links drinking alcohol to the risk of dementia. Alcohol and dementia. Sounds familiar.
She's now the political equivalent of marginal royalty from a forgotten European country, smugly entitled, but no one cares. Her crimes: 1, she mistook the cause of terror, blaming Benghazi on a video, seeking a scapegoat instead of assuming responsibility. 2,
picture this. Greg Gutfeld, the guy who treats politics like an open mic night, just went full demolition mode on Hillary Clinton. And no, this wasn't some light shade thrown across a debate stage. This was total wrecking ball energy, the kind that would make Miley Cyrus jealous. What started off as a casual jab snowballed into a roast hotter than a 4th of July grill. The internet couldn't stop buzzing. Clips were spreading like wildfire. And you're about to see why. Buckle up, because what Gutfeld unleashed wasn't just a political takedown. It was pure comedy gold, and Hillary never saw it coming.
The idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for.
What? Isn't she charming? No wonder Bill spends most of his days perched in a tree outside the local Hooters.
But before we move on, you already know what to do. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, because this one is too good to miss. Greg Gutfeld didn't just roast Hillary Clinton, he threw her entire political career into a microwave, hit the popcorn button, and sat back as the whole thing exploded in glorious slow motion. And the best part? He didn't even have to break a sweat. Watching it was like watching a cat casually swipe a vase off the counter. Except this time, the vase was Hillary's reputation. The crash echoed across the internet, and the memes practically wrote themselves.
She's back like a sore on a porn star's lip.
Ew.
Complaining on X about Trump cleaning up D.C., she says, quote, on one hand, Republican officials call themselves war fighters. On the other, they become whiny crybabies at the thought of setting foot in D.C.'s streets and New York City subways that literal school children navigate every day without incident. Real macho stuff. Then she got off social media and returned to moving a dead body to a park.
Let's be real. Hillary Clinton has spent decades building a brand she believed was indestructible. She strutted into the public arena like the political version of stainless steel. Nothing sticks, nothing dents, nothing breaks. Or at least that's what she thought. But then along comes Greg, armed with nothing more than sarcasm, sharp enough to strip paint off a car. Suddenly, the once untouchable Clinton machine looked less like stainless steel and more like a rusty old blender being held together with duct tape.
That's good.
This might be, in my opinion, the worst thing she's ever said, because we know New York City subways. Kids don't take the subway.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if you do, you're like, whose kid is that?
Yeah, there are men on there who set fire to women, but she's pretending that the people that are trying to reduce crime, that are doing it for themselves, because she's only used to doing things for herself.
The funniest part about this post for me was the fact that she disabled comments on it. Like, what? You wouldn't want to have to see anything unsavory.
And Gutfeld didn't come at her gently either. This wasn't polite disagreement over dinner, where everyone nods politely. No, this was a full-on comedy carpet bombing. Every punchline landed with sniper precision and roastmaster cruelty, like jokes he'd been saving for years, just waiting for the perfect moment. Hillary wasn't just caught off guard. She looked like someone trying to reboot Windows 95 while the rest of the world is streaming 4K on lightning-fast Wi-Fi. And the beauty of it, her reaction was painfully predictable. Instead of laughing it off or clapping back with wit, Hillary doubled down with the energy of a used car salesman trying to convince you that the vehicle that smells like old French fries is still like new.
Masculinizes the argument. I don't even know if that's a word. Is it?
It is now.
It is. She takes a real issue, which is crime affecting the citizens of D.C., and makes it about these war fighters being whiny crybabies, like it's big, whiny men.
Yeah, because they want the streets safe for not just them.
Yes.
The children, and not just that, the children who are jacking and robbing everyone.
And Greg wasn't about to let her off the hook. He polished her so-called crown with sarcasm until it gleamed like a cheap prop in a high school play, fake, flimsy, and embarrassing under the bright lights. Watching Hillary squirm under political pressure is one thing. She's mastered the art of pivoting, deflecting, and tossing out, "But what about them?" like a magician pulling rabbits from hats. But in comedy, she's hopeless. On Gutfeld's stage, she was like a deer on an ice rink, sliding, flailing, desperately trying to regain balance, while Greg casually knocked her back down every time she thought she'd found footing. This roast wasn't just about Hillary the politician. It was about dismantling the carefully manufactured aura she's been selling for decades. The myth of inevitability, power, and untouchability.
Treated classified info the way her husband treats women, casually disposable. In this age when there's no monopoly on mayhem, we need careful, not careless. 3, she put personal privacy before public security. The way Bill used the Secret Service, she used the Secret Server, both to create a wall between prying eyes. So, no surprise, in a new poll, when Americans are asked what word best describes her, they scream liar, followed by dishonest, then untrustworthy. I think I notice a trend. To Americans, she's less dependable than your cable guy. Meanwhile, as she implodes, Biden basks, a white knight with whitened teeth. But as nice as Joe is, it reveals the sober truth.
What made it even funnier was how unbothered Greg seemed the entire time. For him, this wasn't a fight. This was fun. Batting practice. Casually smacking fastballs out of the park, while Hillary played the Little League pitcher, watching home runs fly over her head. And every hit carried the same message. The Clinton era isn't just over, it's now a punchline. People loved it because Greg finally said what everyone else had been thinking. Hillary has been in the spotlight so long, she's turned into a caricature of herself. The rehearsed speeches, the robotic gestures, the uncanny ability to say a lot without answering anything, it was all fodder. And the harder she tried to keep her poise, the funnier it got.
Arrested and ready Bigfoot. Hillary Clinton told folks in Pennsylvania that she's ready to come out of the woods. So is this the comeback that America wants? You know, we love it when great bands get back together, but not Limp Bizkit, not Hoobastank. Hillary announcing return, it's like the bird flu announcing a return of the bird flu. Or McDonald's relaunching the Arch Deluxe, or MSNBC bringing back Brian Williams. Really? We're living in a reverse episode of In Search Of, where the vanishing creature keeps looking for you.
And here's where it cut deeper. It wasn't just about Hillary's past, it was about her future too. Greg painted her as the ghost of political failures past, forever haunting the present with outdated ideas and a worn-out persona. She's become less of a political force and more of a recurring cameo, popping up like that TV character the writers just refused to retire, even though their storyline ended 3 seasons ago. The worst part? Hillary didn't even realize she was the butt of the joke. She thought she was standing strong, when in reality, Greg had turned her into a comedy prop. The humiliation stung harder because it was wrapped in laughter, and you can't fight memes.
Hillary plays won't go away. She's the Yeti who wouldn't leave. Well, unless, of course, she's running for office. Then she disappears. But she announced she's back in Lackawanna, Pennsylvania. True, she did beat Trump there, but he won the entire state. And she lost it because she was MIA. She thought she had it in the bag. So now she says, hey, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of me. That's the worst thing a loser can say. It's like Rachel Maddow holding up a wad of old government forms she found in a dumpster behind Trump Tower and saying, hey, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of these.
The irony is rich. Hillary Clinton has spent decades hating being the punchline. She worked tirelessly to control the narrative, to project competence and power. But when Greg stepped into the ring, that control evaporated. He flipped her from queen to court jester in real time, and the fallout was brutal. It wasn't just laughter. It was the realization that Hillary's days of commanding fear and respect might be officially over. If you can't even withstand a late-night comedy takedown, how can you possibly position yourself as relevant in today's savage political arena?
With 5 days left, is the proverbial poop hitting the fan? You just heard Bret Baier on the latest news, but will it make a difference? What if the emails found on Weiner's laptop did come from Hillary's server? And what if there were new discoveries that actually had classified info? One of Baier's sources claims that Hill's server had been hacked, as he said before, with information stolen by at least 5 foreign intel agencies. If this is true, how will Hillary beat this rap? With this rap by her pal Lena?
Greg exploited her weakness with the precision of a cat finding the one fragile item in your house to knock over. He didn't just jab at her record, he mocked her outdated confidence, like she still thinks it's 1996 and she's untouchable. Watching Hillary react was like watching someone who walked into the wrong Zoom call, but was too proud to leave, pretending it's exactly where they meant to be. Her strategy: ignore, deflect, repeat, crashed, and burned. Comedy doesn't wait. Comedy is raw. And Greg was armed with jokes sharper than any campaign attack ad, cutting deeper because they were simple, fast, and devastatingly funny.
She must be working for Trump. Seriously, that is so bad it could turn Chelsea Clinton into a never Hillary. And sorry, Lena, the gender card has been so played out, it's falling on deaf, pierced ears. Look, if you already hate Hillary, this new stuff isn't going to change a thing. And if you already hate Trump, this isn't going to make you love him. Battle lines are drawn. Nothing sticks. But it seems like the truth is now the bull in Hillary's China shop. Remember, Nixon was pretty cocky, too, up until he wasn't. Events are now dictating the news.
And the best part? The audience laughed harder at the truth hidden inside the jokes. Because at the core of Greg's comedy was the reality Hillary refuses to accept. She's still playing the same old game while everyone else has moved on. She's the political version of MySpace. Once revolutionary, now cringeworthy. And Greg knew exactly how to use that. Her every flicker of irritation became fuel for his fire. Every joke landed harder because she couldn't laugh at herself. It wasn't cruelty. It was the kind of roasting that exposes power for what it really is when it takes itself too seriously. Ridiculous.
Will her new foreign policy class change minds that she's a horse's ass? This week, Columbia University shared a video promoting a new course that's co-taught by Hillary Clinton. Believe me, no one's more thrilled to have Hillary out of the house than Bill. Speaking of Bill, if you're a lady who is a solid 8 or above, he'll tutor you for free. The course he's teaching, how to fit snugly under my desk.
And the audience? They ate it up. The internet responded the only way it knows how, with memes, clips, edits, and remixes. Overnight, Hillary wasn't trending for speeches, policies, or even scandals. She was trending because Greg had turned her into an unintentional Saturday Night Live sketch. That's when you know the cultural shift is real. Hillary's recent attempts to sneak back into political relevance now looked laughable. She's become the app that reinstalls itself no matter how many times you delete it. And Greg captured the collective frustration perfectly.
First, she wasn't elected. Now Hillary's class gets rejected. True, even students on the left give Professor Clinton an F. Students in Hillary Clinton's new class says it sucks. Even more than an intern who, you know where this is going. But it's the smartest realization on campus since someone realized you could put vodka up your butt. Thanks, Shannon. Earlier this year, Bill's worser half accepted a professorship at Columbia teaching public affairs. Meanwhile, Bill did offer to tutor some of the female students, but Columbia has a no-cigar policy.
The destruction was complete, not because Greg out-argued her. This wasn't a debate. It was complete because he out-funnied her. He reminded everyone that power only works when people take you seriously. And once the laughter starts, the seriousness dies. Hillary's entire brand has always relied on gravity and inevitability. Greg popped that bubble with a grin, leaving nothing but echoes of laughter bouncing around the hollow shell of her image. And here's the kicker. Once you're funny for the wrong reasons, you can't come back. Scandals fade, losses heal, But when you become the punchline, that's permanent.
For passing her wisdom on to the next generation on everything from fraudulent land deals to unflattering pantsuits. Meanwhile, students were promised empowering lessons by one of America's biggest losers. After all, who else can teach them how to delete emails and destroy evidence, while also learning how to destroy Libya? But turns out the class is just a bunch of ego-worshipping drivel in front of an audience, unlike her show on Apple TV, which was ego-worshipping drivel without an audience. One disappointed student described her first day as a swarm of several hundred people, a sea of cameras, Secret Service personnel. Sounds like every time Joe makes a boom boom.
And that's the tragedy of it all. Deep down, Hillary probably thought she could handle this. After all, she's faced world leaders, scandals, investigations. Surely one late-night comedian couldn't shake her, right? Wrong. She underestimated comedy. She thought this was politics as usual. Pivot, dodge, stonewall. Instead, she walked straight into a buzzsaw of sarcasm and came out with nothing but bruises and memes. And Greg? He walked away grinning. Victorious in a battle Hillary never should have picked. He didn't just roast her. He reminded the world that comedy outlasts political posturing every single time.